Hi everybody and welcome to Just Saying. It is March 10th, 2014 and I am joined here as I am every week by my soon-to-be Grandma Nana, Mary. Hi Mary.
Hi Kim. You know, I like the term. I like hearing that. Grandma.
I know you do.
I waited long enough. I better like being a grandma. That would be kind of weird if I don't. But now I'm excited. And yesterday was the shower and we had a great time.
I know. I saw lovely pictures.
Well, I made sure you got the brunch picture, the food.
Of course you did, because it was Banana Foster, you evil thing.
Well, I was minding my own business, going down the line. Well, I have to start off with this. Now, I don't usually fight over food, but I love cheese danishes. And of course, being co-hostess of this event yesterday, I was one of the last to go because I let the other guests go up. Well, when they were putting out all this food, they put out these trays of these mean-looking Danish, and there were cheese Danish there. So I'm being patient, you know, and there's one lady ahead of me, and I eye this one cheese Danish. It was like the heavens opened up and the light came down on this Danish. I go to grab it, and she snags it.
Next.
If I had a fork in my hand, I would have stabbed her to get that cheese Danish. So the whole time I'm sitting there, and I've got this delicious food in front of me, and I'm thinking cheese Danish. Well, one of the girls at the table grabbed the waitress and said, "For God's sakes, do you have another cheese Danish in the back?" And here comes a special plate with a cheese Danish and puts it right in front of me.
Robin said that you picked up a fork and pinned her hand down with it.
Yeah, well, Robin was when you went down the line, there was like two, one on one side, one on the other, and the lady on the other side was just like 2 inches ahead of us. And man, that she went in and grabbed for that cheese Danish. Oh, that's okay. I got my cheese Danish, so I'm happy. And then to make matters worse, when they had the French toast and they had the syrup, and I said, "What's that stuff?" And the lady says, "Oh, it's Banana Foster's top." That's it. So as soon as I got back, I'm snapping pictures, and you know I had to send it to you.
Yep.
Anyway, how are you?
I'm lovely.
As always. What's special at Metaluna this week?
Oh, let's see right now. Me.
Well, of course, but I mean, you know. Any new products?
Winter clothes are 25% off right now.
There you go.
All the sweaters.
For your winter clothing needs, shop at Metaluna, where you get 25% off. See?
And my fuzzy socks, and yeah.
Yeah? All right. Sounds good. Oh, I like fuzzy socks. I might have to get some.
I love the fuzzy socks.
Anyway, we have a jam-packed show tonight, and the reason why I brought up that cheese Danish is I don't usually talk too much food, is notice I got really upset about that cheese Danish.
You did.
To the point where 2 people over sitting for me had to ask for one. I was shooting out some negative vibes there because I didn't get my cheese Danish. How's that for a segue into a show?
That's a temper tantrum.
Well, regardless, people around me felt it. So I'm going to let you do the intros of our guests tonight so we can get started on our show.
Our guests this evening are 2 of our fun people, and we love these 2.
We do?
Let's start with Beauty and Beauty, because I'm not even going with the age thing because I will get in trouble. The first one is a Claire Everything, and one of the co-hosts on The Psychic View, Maureen Holleran. And the other one is our buddy in the box, who comes out to play randomly and always looks so lovely, even though we're picking on her shirt, Patty Zakis.
Welcome, ladies. And we do love you. I was just funny.
We do.
You think I was going to come in here and be real? Nope. So how are you tonight? Well, I'll ask Patty first, because...
Ask Patty.
Patty, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great, Mary. Thank you. Feeling much better than I have been for the last 2 months, so everything is a massive improvement. And so glad you didn't end up with a prison sentence over an assault over cheap Danish, just like that.
They came close.
And I forgot to mention, Patty is pretty much a Claire everything too. Don't take her into a haunted place without being able to grab her suitcase really quick. There.
Yeah. But I like the intro of Maureen. She almost sounded like a salad bar, you know, with all those toppings.
Well,
She's a fake.
they both are. One's a baked potato bar and the other one's a salad bar, and you just go through and add what you want.
Can I be the chocolate fountain?
No.
You hear that?
Thumbs up, okay?
So, last but not the least, Maureen, how are you?
I'm okay after I got a whooping off me before the show. I'm doing fantastic. This is the first time using my new computer with this webcam and everything.
Wow.
You guys are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you're looking good.
I got like 100-foot screen staring at me with your face. That's the biggest screen I've ever had, though. It's huge.
Well, before we get into our serious topic, I must mention that Robin is commenting on the fake cooking kitchen backdrop that Patty usually
Yeah, it looks
has
beautiful,
up.
Patty. It does look like the most, what's it called? Home and Gardens? House and Gardens.
No, hers is a large poster, Maureen. We've decided she really doesn't cook.
Yeah, we don't think she cooks. We think that's just a backdrop. And you know, Kim, looking at the kitchen from behind, when the last time we looked at it was blue, and now today it's green?
All I know is I still don't see any pierogies cooking, and we were promised these like 10 months ago.
It does look beautiful.
This has nothing to do with the fact that my office is in my kitchen, by the way. Nothing.
You know,
Backdrop.
if you were over at my house and I was as sick as you were for like 3 months or 2 months or whatever it was, you wouldn't be able to see my countertops because things would be piled up. So I think Robin's onto something.
Robin?
Color changes.
Robin or Patty?
Noted.
Anyway, ladies,
Oh, jeez.
we actually have a serious side of tonight's show.
We do.
The topic tonight started a month ago. Kim and I were just
Oh,
kind
you
of...
gotta be kidding.
You're back on, Mo. You're back on, Mo. Just restart the camera.
You're still here, Maureen, so don't talk bad about Patty.
No, that's what I said about that. You know what? This is my brand new computer on my end happening again. This is what I was having problems with my other one. That's what. Oh, heck. But I'm not going to say any more about
It's
it.
okay. We'll have you fix it after show. We're going right along. Truck right along.
Yeah, you look great. You look great in that picture. Anyway, Kim and I, a few months ago, we usually meet every morning for breakfast. We'll have coffee, where now it's just basically typing to one another. And it was something that we had noticed, you get up every morning, and unless you got bad knees, bad back, shoulders, and everything else like I do, you kind of make the most of it. And you go down and you can't wait to talk to your friend on Skype and have coffee. And usually the first thing you hit, I think everybody hits, is Facebook to see what's going on. And most days, it's not too bad, but once in a while, like I said, you get up, you're in a good mood, and you flip on Facebook, and your first 5 or 6 posts that you see is, oh, I had a rotten day, or I'm not feeling, and I'm not this, and I'm not that. And by the time you get down to the 7th post, you're miserable. And, we got to talking about dealing with others, whether it's just looking on Facebook or talking to somebody on the phone or bumping into somebody personally, and how they just throw all this negative crap out there and how it affects you as an individual. And of course, you all know that Kim and I are empathic, and we're like a sponge to this stuff. So we're kind of putting a disclaimer out there for everybody to hear that we're not usually miserable by nature. So, that's basically what we want to talk about tonight, and how you handle things, and what are these people called? I know there's got to be a term for people like that. We'll start with you, Patty.
Well, first of all, you just nailed it on the head. the negativity part and the disclaimer. I may want to borrow that disclaimer sometime, by the way, that I'm not usually a miserable person. I don't know what the label would be other than just negative people. I haven't given them any particular nicknames at all, but I understand what you're saying. It's just loads and loads and loads and loads of negativity, or their own personal stuff being poured out on the page. And sometimes that can be a bit much to take. For me, I just sign off. I just shut Facebook down and walk away because I can't take it. There's too much coming at me. I've got 7 or 8 windows open at any given time. LinkedIn branched out, plus office stuff, etc., etc. So if there's too much going on, I just kind of shut it down, walk away now.
Yeah, it gets absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they're whining about everything, and it's like they never have a good day, ever.
You feel that sometimes it's just because there's a need for attention, maybe a need for somebody to walk in and calm down. But for some, they just like living in melodrama, and that melodrama is living in a negative world. These are the people that we would deem, if you want a name for them, the psychic vampires, emotional vampires. They suck oxygen out of the room. They suck the energy out of the computer.
That's for sure.
I call them the me people. Because it doesn't matter what's going on. It's all about them, and it's never their fault.
Yeah.
Well, when I had, sent a request for you to come on the show tonight, you and Maureen. Maureen, you're still there, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Jump in whenever you want to.
I will.
I know, Patty, one of the first things that you said was about psychic vampires. So I'm thinking, well, that's kind of like a really tough name to call somebody. And I went and I looked up exactly what a psychic vampire means. And according to the internet, and of course, the internet's always correct.
Always.
Right.
So
It says a psychic vampire is a person or being who feeds off of the life force of another living being. And they're also known as energy vampires, energy predators, energy parasites, and that's the term that I love. And here's another good energivores. I guess like carnivores, energivores. Yeah, exactly. But it says the traits of a psychic vampire. And when I was reading about the traits, I'm thinking, God, there's a lot of people I know that are like that. Experiences feelings of abandonment or rejection, needs constant reassurance, never feels satisfied, seeks nurturing, has low energy and fatigue. Now, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, I suffer from a lot of that, maybe I'm a psychic vampire and don't know it. But it says each of us have psychic vampire tendencies that sometimes need to be put into check. And I think there are days that you wake up and you just find yourself normally in one of those moods. But if you act upon it and keep acting upon it, then maybe you really are a psychic vampire. Maureen?
Are you a psychic vampire? Is that what you're trying to explain?
I was saying, after reading this, that I do have tendencies, I find myself sometimes like that. But at least I notice that I'm acting like that.
Well, that's a really great thing to stand up for. But I don't feel, from where I'm sitting with no video,
that might be a good thing, Mel.
Is that I don't feel that you are. I feel that you, well, wait a minute, it's a Shanley kind of work. No. Meanwhile, cool case else. No, the thing of it is, I feel that we can all be maybe a little bit, but it's not in the intent that I feel that there's a fine line between the your intent, okay? And I also, I don't know if I feel this way. I just think. I'm going to say think it, because I've talked to people, been around people, and I feel that they deliberately are just that, suck the energy out of you, suck the life out of you. I feel that they're wired like that. I know that we all three can say, or I feel that we all three can kind of maybe agree on that one. I feel that we maybe have had some people, that one person, two, whatever that we know of.
What, I don't count?
ourselves.
I don't count. She said you three. There's four of us.
Or, Eric's included in the three.
That's new math.
I think it's a compliment, Kim. I think she's trying to say that you are not a psychic vampire at
Oh.
all.
Okay.
And that's a good thing.
Not with the intent to be. Like I said, I do feel that we all can be going through our struggles and such with no hidden agendas going on. That's what I'm saying. I feel that we all have,
Oh no, if I got something, it's out there and I'm ripping.
He puts it out there. Well, now I've gone. Everybody that knows me personally knows that I've been going through some transitions over the last, let's say 2 years, and I don't consider myself new in the field anymore, but I was at one point, and you start to get to know all these people, and you want to talk to all these people. People that you feel are more experienced than you in the field, and they know a little more, and you get a little bit more involved with them, and you find yourself one day realizing you're not a happy person, and you were happy before. And one by one, you start looking at people that you've been associating with, and you really start to dissect them. And like I said, I do a lot of Facebook trolling, which is, I admit it, I'm like everybody, at least I admit it, Maureen. I can stand in front of a podium and say, hi, my name's Mary, and I'm a Facebook trolling person, okay? And I'm not embarrassed to say that. But, if you take the time to actually see what people put out there and post daily, it kind of gives you, a little bit of insight of the type of person that they are. Now, okay, some of these people that get on there, they come across, they might be really nicey, and then, hey, let's go meet for coffee, and they end up being Jack the Ripper. I'm not talking about those kind of people. I'm talking about everyday people that put their stuff out there, and you're starting to, like, wow, I didn't realize they were like that. And when you start to take a step back, you start to notice that dark, heavy, whatever it is that surrounds you starts to disappear. And I kind of decided one day, okay, I'm not like this. I've got to start clearing the plate a little bit better and picking and choosing what I put on there, as in people, people that I associate with. And it does seem to make a really big difference. And I know a couple of my close friends have noticed that, you're not all doom and gloom anymore, and, you don't take things to heart, and you don't jump at the first thing. I'm always getting accused of having a knee-jerk reaction. And the knee-jerk has died down because I'm not constantly being surrounded with all this negative stuff. So I'm going to throw this one out to both of you. If you have people in your life that you really care about, and they are friends, but their whole life is nothing but this negative stuff, and it's constant, what do you do about that?
Great question. Maureen, you want to go first?
Well, the only way I can see to do with it, and that's not that I'm saying that I deal with it this way, but the best way is just to learn how to manage them and have compassion for them, but it doesn't mean that you should be part of their life.
Okay.
Great story. Yeah, Maureen, actually, I agree with that too. I know that when I've had a situation where someone, it becomes a pattern. Somebody is, you're aware that they're there to feed off of you constantly, or draining you, is not to make them an intricate part of your life, and really to close that door. Once you have the awareness, then you're in the place of judgment. You're in the judgment seat. It's up to you whether you want to close that door or not. And if you don't close the door, I hate to say it, ladies, but don't bitch about it then, because then the door's open and all this stuff continues flooding through. And I've learned by trial and error too. I really have. I've been tried to be there for several people over the years, but I just needed bit of extra help, but when that extra help came in the form of 4 or 5 phone calls a day, it was time to shut down. And because there was obviously a misconception about what was going on. And to be honest with you, the phone would ring or Skype would come on, and I could feel myself visibly drained. Like if I looked in the mirror, I probably wouldn't have any color in my face. It was like, okay, I've got to shut this because I know what's coming. You can feel it too. Again, feeling the energies. You know it's a negative thing. You know it's something that's going to be draining. So shut the door.
I said
otherwise
sorry.
It will affect you. It affects me anyways, but maybe I'm just a wuss. I don't know. But when I'm around a lot of negative energy, it really kicks it out of me.
I
Well,
said
being an empath
sorry.
as well, you're real susceptible to it.
Yeah.
Girls, I mean, don't you agree? All of us.
Oh
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Kim, you were going to say something?
I was telling Patty I'm sorry I won't call so much.
She said, Patty, I'm sorry I won't call so much. I think we should all post Patty's phone number. Everybody give her a call tomorrow.
No, that's okay.
Well, you know, Alicia, she's visiting. Of course, we know Alicia, my daughter, the nurse. She's visiting because she was here for the shower yesterday. And I was having trouble with the printer as I was printing out my notes that I had typed up for the show. And she's reading about symptoms of a psychic attack, which I'll talk about in a minute. And she goes, Mom, I have most of these every day. And we kind of laughed for a moment, then we kind of stopped and looked at each other because she's a trauma ICU nurse. Somebody that's in that high profile, you're dealing with not only the patient, but the family. And I mean, most of the situations are beyond grave. How are you, and you know, and I'm going to compare to both of you with the jobs that you do. How can somebody like herself tune this off without not being in touch, you know, without losing that, being in touch with her patients?
Another great question. I'm still trying to figure it out. You, Marie?
Go ahead, Patty. You go first.
Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out that, kind of how we do it with continue doing our job. I don't know if this helps and not. It kind of goes along that lines. When you're dealing, and especially for Alicia, she's in an ER, for God's sake. People are pulling energy from her. They want her reassurance their family member is going to be okay. She's worried about saving somebody's life. There's a lot of pressure there. Again, everything that we do is energy. Absolutely everything we do is energy. And I'm still trying to figure out how to continue and not let that energy get to me. And the only thing that I can do is shut my phones off, walk away from the computer, go outside, or just shut off from everything that is pulling at me. Alicia doesn't have that out when she's in the middle of an emergency. So what do you do then? You know, you remove yourself, you walk away, and you pull yourself together in some way, shape, or form, no matter how that is done. But a little bit of quiet time and getting away from all those energies that are pulling at you. And you know, I've got a psychiatrist friend that gave me a little piece of information today, kind of going along with this. When it comes to counselors, like counselors, nurses, what we do, Marie, Kim, Mary, when we're talking to people and intense conversations with people, for every hour that we put into those intense conversations, into 6 hours of manual labor. So you think about how this affects us physically as well. And it kind of made sense to me when he said it, and I thought, wow, that would explain why some days at the end of the day, maybe I've fenced 14 phone calls and a couple of private clients. I want to fall to bed. Where do I find my peace in my sleep at that point in time where I can recharge with nobody else bothering me?
You know, I also feel that it's a really great idea. I'm looking at this because you just brought up counseling and what things that you do, we all do. But here's a good example, and it just dawned on me, and it was helpful according to my daughter. She's in Thailand, so she's getting ready to come home, and she was real excited. She's got into Colombia, and she, emailed her other aunt, not on my side of the family. And this aunt is one of those psychic vampires, with the big P all over the place. Anyway, she came back with this great news my daughter, sent her. What she did was rip her a new whatever and proceeded to just bash her about some unrelated other issue because that's who she is. She's a psychic. She just sucks the life out of anything. So my daughter was very upset. And so she called me and I said, listen, so the thing is, what I said, listen, let's laugh at this and let's have compassion for it. I feel it's really good to be able to have somebody that you also can check with on something. If you're able to do that. Now, if you're alone, you're working like you guys is on. The last thing you need to do, well, Mary, I've checked on Mary sometimes before, and or Kim, and I also with Patty. But the things I do feel that we are colored by those. We're colored by environment, by those people we're connected with, and it does help to ground us. The good, non-psychic, just not non-psychic, the good intent behind other like-minded people. Sometimes it just takes a couple of minutes or a couple of words, and that can really help, almost like contain or ground us or contain it, negativity, and almost maybe make a joke out of it for yourself, or laugh off all these, in some way. I always think that can help too. And my daughter, it did help her. She was devastated, and it turned out to be a hilarious, amateur night at the Comedy Store. After we were through with that, response that really brought her down and sucked all the energy out of her. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, I do. And you're right, Marie. If we could reach out to somebody who can pull us back down to the ground for a second, or bring us up. Bring us up.
Exactly.
More bring us up than anything and go, it's okay, wash this away. It's not you. Get back in touch with yourself there. Yeah.
Well, as I was saying about when I was reading this list on traits of a psychic vampire, and like I said, I do that sometimes. But when I know I'm doing that, you never see me post that. I don't put it out there in the open. I have my chosen few that I may talk to and say, I'll send something, and then we usually end up laughing. At least with all you guys, you all know when I'm having a down moment and something funny will pop up and it just brings you back like the smelling salts and like, whoop, I'm fine now, I let it go, and you go about your business and you laugh. But I'm concerned, I have some people in my life that I really, really care about, and I don't think they realize just how negative they are. How would you even go about without hurting their feelings? I would like to keep them in my life, but I just don't want to. They're suffering, And if you can't get up in the morning and find one thing good that's going on throughout the day, that's sad. But yet they have a streak to them that they're nice people and they have a big heart, but they just, they're like Pigpen with that cloud dust of negativity. How do you tell them in a nice way, what you're seeing without hurting their feelings?
Let me intervene for a minute here, ladies.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead.
First of all, with as much as some of them have put out, and I know who you're speaking of, there's not always a nice way of putting it. Sometimes you gotta worry about your feelings more than theirs and just tell them, suck it up, buttercup, and move on, or else. Because there are some people who do it on purpose, and you know who I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, there are people that go out of their way because they're as miserable as can be and as negative as can be, and the old misery loves company. But I do believe that there are people out there that are generally nice, and they don't realize how they're coming across. You know, I mean, you want to be there for them, but when it's 24/7 and it's just, you know, I don't know what I want to have to eat. I got a headache. You know, it's raining out. Well, you know what? As I started in the beginning of the show, and you guys that know me know, when I get up in the morning, I can hardly walk. I mean, I'm like, let me get to the bathroom, please. You know, I mean, because I hurt my knees over the years with investigating and tripping and stuff, and I've had surgery. But you know what? Except for saying it tonight, people out there don't know what goes on behind the scenes here with me. You know, I do the events. I get up and people, well, you guys do, but I'm talking in the outside world. They don't know my daily life because I don't put it out there. I save those things for people that need to know or really want to know. I mean, I don't want to bore everybody with everything that goes on here at my house, okay? It's not that I don't care that you might have problems out there, but, you know, if you need prayers because your wife's sick, I'll be the first one to send the prayers. That's understandable. But if your coffee's too hot, or your bread is too stale, or it's, like I said, it's raining, or it's snowing. We just went through the worst winter ever in history in my area. Okay?
And beautiful, and it was beautiful.
Well, you know, there's always one in every carton of eggs that's a little cracked. But the point is I made fun of it. I'm not saying that I didn't put the pictures out there and said, here we go again. But it wasn't like, give me the gun. It's snowing. I can't, you know, you guys men have all heard I can't take the snow anymore. It's driving me crazy. And I seriously, I don't think people realize when they throw all that negativity out there, how people take it. Or, you know, how it affects them.
Well, I have something to say about that before, obviously, my brand new computer. Anyway, I don't feel that it's about a matter of me talking to somebody about that, because if you can look back, this happened one time. Somebody was on me, and I'm a magnet. Like, I feel, you girls might understand this. We're magnets for people like those people. You know, I was like, you know, here we come. But this one time, it was a neighbor, and he was telling me a lot, Amy, because I do the work, I am what I am. You listen and you want to care. And then the one time I say, listen, I can't cope with what's going on with you right now. I was very nice, because I'm going through something at this moment. I'm just not strong enough. I was very open and vulnerable, and he had a fit. He didn't care.
See, that's what I call a me person, because regardless of what was going on with you, it was still all about him.
That's exactly right. So even if you try to, I'm not saying this with everybody, but Mary, there was something that happened with you not too long ago. I'll use this, no names, but example. You became very, kind of iffy about where I was coming from, or trusting where I was coming from, because of somebody that may have been indicating whatever for a long time to you, not directly about me, right? But indirectly about people, and I'm being a person. And I'm just saying that kind of thing was very sad to me, because that's the kind of thing that can get underneath somebody, and then it snowballs into you again feeling, oh my God, that's where you don't want to go. So when somebody that means well, on one hand, from where you're sitting and observing, but on the other hand, there's other ways of helping somebody and meaning that's not very meaningful or wellness. I don't know. That's a little bit of crazy making, or I call psychic crazy makers.
I was waiting for that phrase. I love that phrase.
You like it?
The crazy making? Heck yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that is good. That is good.
And that's where, you can see the good in people, sure, but then again, if you sacrifice your own well-being for the good of somebody else, because you see the good, that's not good.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I get accused all the time by a really close friend that I don't know how to, I beat around the bush, and I don't know how to close the door because I'm so worried about hurting somebody else's feelings who've been hurting mine all this time indirectly because they're so negative.
And
it is definitely crazy making.
It comes back to like what Patty's saying, when one person's down, and we don't cross the line. We all know kids, like, you think, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. I'm in my funk. I'm in my torn. I'm really upfront about my stuff. You don't want to bother with me right now. So I push it. You got push you away. I don't want to bring you down. I'm self-aware. I'm mindful of my issues. I'm not going to do it to you. That's somebody that's openly willing to know. I'm not going to be a psychic vampire to you, although you're offering, hey, I'm touching base with you, right? There's a difference there. Like we all said, we all could be like that if we wanted to, but when we're going through the stuff, we do not want to pull anybody else down with us.
And I agree, Maureen. Anybody that, from I told myself, but anybody that knows me really well, when I start going down, no one cares for me.
Yeah, me too.
I would stop because I have to. It's not because I don't want to be able to lean on a friend or get that good word. I don't want to bring my stuff into the forefront.
Exactly.
How to deal with it. So I have to treat in order to process my own stuff and then re-emerge. I'm in a better place. I don't need anybody to figure it out for me. I have to go walk the fire by myself.
So you can see the difference of people if you're talking about, what can you do? Mary, your question was, what can you do to approach people that don't know the really...
No, she says, how do you not hurt their feelings, even though she needs to tell them?
Defunctional, functional, dysfunction. It's your feel, you know what? And I it's easy for me to say because I do the same thing, Mary, actually. And like I said, I'm afraid to hurt anybody's feelings at the expense of my own.
But when we hurt else's feelings, we're also hurting our own. Too, because that's the way we're natured.
Right.
And I get what you guys are saying. It's very difficult to shut somebody down, but and I do admit it. It's not good, but I have blown a gasket a couple of times. Huge gasket on people a couple of times. Do you not realize I've got a life too, and this is, I can't do this with you anymore. And I've had the same reaction, Maureen. I've had people lose it on me because I've been their dumping ground for 6 months, and I have one day where I'm going, I can't listen to this today.
That's the end of you.
I'm no longer the source for them. So that, in a way, it's almost a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
That ends it. That severs the tie right there.
It does.
But you also cannot sit there and take all the abuse
and
allow them to dump on you just because they can. You did absolutely nothing. You're sitting there. You're being the supportive friend. You're helping them wherever you can possibly help them, and they can't say anything nice to you. That's not a friend, and that needs to be put in the trash can.
There's a lot of people that are just full of themselves, and that's how it would be. And they were either, I don't know why they became that way, but
Get that way I'm busy.
To be around that. We have enough people out in the outside world you don't even know that get to you.
Oh, so very true.
Yeah, got that one. Well, anybody sitting out there and they're wondering what are some of the symptoms of a psychic attack or energy attack, I have the list.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Symptoms are leaky, I'm not sure what they mean by that, or diminishing aura, dizziness, loss of energy, muscle tension, mental confusion, headaches, chronic fatigue, sleep disturbances, irritability, depressed mood, and physical illnesses.
Okay, I think all of us have every one of those symptoms at one time or another.
Also, being a scapegoat, feeling like you're an scapegoat should be the top of the list.
Actually, good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here too. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think it's really important to observe or be aware of what to notice with these type of people, what they are like, what is the deal. is almost like in a way they dismiss your happy or dismiss something positive in your life, for one. These are people you can spot out. Dismiss instead. Oh, just like what I was saying about my dad was an example, but we've all had that before. Oh, you really think you can do that? Or you gotta be kidding, you'll never pull that off. Or, you know, let me help you because I know blah, fill in the blanks, okay? Those are two signs of a person, no. And it makes them feel better about themselves, that they have their lives in order. It's the same thing they'll do when they go, oh, what a miserable day with my toast. They're doing the same thing when they're pushing you into or they're throwing it out there that, oh, you can't do that. That's out of your league. Or, you know, people don't really think that highly of you.
Yeah, they're cutting you off at the ankle before you even get
That's
started.
right. They're not even complaining about toast, but it's a whole nother level. I mean, it's the way they're wired. People don't like you, really. I think I should be able to help you do that, and it's better that way. Or remind you of some things that you told them, confidence that were hurtful, or your fears, and they use those. Notice.
Out there like that. They like to take any opportunity to pop the balloon. No matter how happy your news is, they're going to find something negative to throw at you because they live in a negative space all the time.
Yeah.
They live in it and they breathe it. And I got to bring this up as an example. My parents used to live in a retirement complex that everybody had their own condos. And there were 58 of them in there, and these were retired people, and for whatever reason, I'm not picking on retired people, so before the fire alarms come. And it just happened to be a select few of them, a handful full of them, that would make complaints about everything. If somebody's car wasn't parked in the driveway to the road instead, they'd launch a complaint. They took one of their neighbors to court over the curtains that were hanging in the window. It wasn't conducive with the rest of the block. It's constant negativity. They live it, they breathe it, they eat it, and they infect other people with it.
Yes.
Well, I call people like Kim has the me people. I call people that have this negative outlook on life the glass half full or the half empty people.
That's nice.
That's all they see is it's half empty. And I posted something on Facebook. What type of person are you? Are you the half full, the half empty, or just give me the damn glass, I'm going to fill it up type person? And I would hope to say on a good day, I'm just give me the glass, I'll fill it up, and not even think about it. But those kind of people that look at that glass and see it only as half empty, I kind of feel sorry for them in a way.
Yeah, compassion is good. This is why I say it's not so much about what symptoms that you're experiencing. If you're having, they call it psychic vampire attack, but it's regular people. Regular Joes and not Mary, sorry. Regular Joes and Alice's.
Meanwhile, that's going to cost you. Yeah, right.
I don't mean that.
That's where I have pictures.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, I got her quiet. I would never post them.
Let the blackmail begin.
You notice she's not talking anymore.
She
hung up.
Do we lose you, Maureen?
She hung up. She's like, I'm done with you. Click.
We actually lost her. I think.
Yeah.
Every time I say stuff like that, something happens and I get booted. That's the universe or Mary? Okay. No,
she missed what I did.
I did, but I'll see it on the re-show. I'll check it out. Don't you worry.
She was trying to blackmail you, Maureen. She was trying to blackmail you. See, Mary, I told you, I'm the glass is half full, and give me the damn thing, I'll drink it. There's no half empty. I'm always into something.
That's true. Okay, Maureen, before you get booted off again.
Go on. Well, Mary, I use somebody that I know as an example too. That this is what bothers me so much is when it affects others beyond you, because somebody may be whatever they're full of themselves. Okay, here we go. I know, I'm still here. If people are full of themselves and they insinuate or they put power of suggestion into somebody that's really a good person about, well, I really don't think people think this highly or this highly. So then with that person of all good intent is listening to this, will then have other things go out and it branches out to others. And that's the worst thing that I feel that can happen.
Oh, yeah, agreed. That poisons everything in your life.
Exactly.
Everything in your life. If you're giving out something very, very positive, and the first thing this other person does is dissect it and take it apart, you just win the Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, don't get too full of yourself. Is that a congratulations or a happy thought? Not at all. They're going to the negative, taking away even that moment of happiness from you. Is it almost like, and I wonder what it is about these people. Is it because they thrive off of this? They have to grab their happiness, they have to grab that positive energy and throw it out and go, you always have to look at the negative. No, you don't always have to look at the negative. You don't have to live in that place.
Yeah, and it's one person that would be saying this that would actually affect your other relationships with everybody else. Because then you start feeling, okay, I guess other people don't like me, or because this one person kind of was able to orchestrate it pretty well.
Right, or other people blowing, excuse the expression, blowing smoke up my ass.
Yes.
This person said no, and everybody else is congratulating me, so maybe they're right. It poisons everything.
Exactly. That's the worst. That's why I say the only thing you can do is manage them. You can't. You can try to approach. Okay, granted, there might be someone that maybe is just having a rotten month. Okay, and she's dumping on you. But yeah, sure, I'd always try to approach it. But when that happened with me, my experience was.
Mary, we hear nothing.
What?
It's because I was muted, but I'm still here.
There she went again.
Hanging. It's like, you need the drum roll. Okay, and next week on Just Saying is part 2 of Maureen's.
I know. This is really funny.
Not for you, it isn't. For us, it is because we're cutting you up.
No, I'm sorry if I'm making a mess out of the show.
You are not.
You're doing fine.
You know what? You and Patty could never make a mess out of a show.
Kim and I, on the other hand.
Are you kidding?
But go ahead, Maureen. I know you'll be able to finish now.
No, she's gone again.
She's abandoning ship?
Oh boy, she was on a roll too.
Apparently, they don't want her to say what she has to say.
I know. Hurry up and say it in shorthand so we can hear it. She's not going to stick with us, but yeah, she is making a really good point into what she's saying. But my thought in the beginning, and actually we're down to 4 minutes, is there are honest to goodness nice people out there that they're just not realizing what they're doing to others, and that was my whole thing on how can you bring it to their attention.
That's probably going to be the question of the century, Mary. There's so many different ways to approach it. We try and approach it softly with them, and you've got to try different things. I guess that would be my suggestion, approaching it softly with them, going, I'm always getting this negative feedback from you, and telling them and sharing with them how it affects you may rattle them into some sort of consciousness where they're no longer doing it, or that at least they have not no longer doing it, because we can't change habits overnight, but maybe bringing an awareness level. With others, you really just have to tell them exactly where the rubber meets the road, and because that's the only language they understand. You unfortunately have to take it, and you don't necessarily have to be as harsh as them, but very strongly and lay down your boundaries. I think most of our biggest problems is we move our boundaries to accommodate other people's needs, so we don't hurt their feelings. But in reality, we're paying a big price ourselves. We pay just as much, if not more.
True.
Just keep that in mind.
Yep. Well, I guess we lost Maureen for the night, or she?
No, I'm sure.
Oh,
I think she is.
Sam.
Spit it out, Maureen, and hurry. Hurry, Maureen. Hurry, Mo. Say it.
Get it out. Get it out.
I got a fantastic computer. Apparently, it's just there's something going on.
Yeah, you're being. I won't say it's a psychic computer attack. How's that?
Yeah, there you go.
All these energies. So, do you want to finish what you were saying? Because we're running out of time shortly, but we have a couple minutes.
I was through with what I was saying.
Eric,
After all that, we've been sitting here on the edge of our seat waiting.
I hope that I didn't go in circles about changing it up, about the symptoms of what you feel by being psychically attacked. But about how to manage them is an important thing. The only thing you can do.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering how many people out there don't realize that they're being attacked.
Dragged down.
Exactly. I mean, I'm going over this list, and we all joked about how we have most of them. But seriously, I can probably say, except for like mental confusion and dizziness, I probably got all the other things. Of course, you guys might argue the mental confusion part.
You got kidding.
Takes one to know one.
hey, I never once said I was completely sane.
I never claimed it either, so.
See?
But I think now, Patty and Maureen, and actually everybody out there that's listening now that's going to be watching the show, we should hire Kim. What was the saying that you started about something Buttercup?
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Suck it up, Buttercup. We'll just send these people for $50 a person. Kim will personally tell them, suck it up, Buttercup.
And there's a few, I would do it at a big discount just because I could.
We're laughing now, but when we have our psychic vampire attack in a day or two.
Yeah, you'll be checking those bank accounts then, won't you?
Yeah, really, seriously. But no, I really appreciate you guys. Well, Kim and I do appreciate you both coming on tonight because, it's we're kind of smiling about this and we're chuckling, but it is a very serious situation that we kind of lift up the rug and sweep it under and deal with it and put up with it till another day. And somewhere along the line, it really has to stop because if it's affecting you, like the list that I read off, then it's not a funny situation. It is a serious situation because it affects your performance at your job. It affects your relationship with other people. It definitely affects your sleep. And if you're not getting enough sleep, it's affecting you physically and on it goes. So it has to stop somewhere. And I, for one, appreciate all of your input, even on how to handle situations. And hopefully people out there listening will pick up and realize, oh, I got this headache and I didn't have it prior to talking to her or him, and maybe it's coming from it, and maybe you can stop it before it starts.
Cynthia just said some of them would actually pay to watch me tell them to suck it up, Buttercup.
That's right.
A new business! Yes!
Suck it up, Buttercup. I can see you doing it. Hand on the hip,
Like Chloe?
Yes.
Strike a pose.
Back to
Well, you can see me. I did a good one. You can see me. I'll draw a sketch for this. Thank you for having me on, and with Patty, and you too. It was lovely. I love it.
Yes.
And community is the best way, I do feel, to really keep in check with some of these things too.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
like community of women or us, or really, I do feel it's important.
Agreed. You have to have a really good network and stay connected.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree.
which means
and
no.
The cool thing is, if one isn't available, the other one is, and we have other people that are out there too. And I think most of the time you don't even have to explain yourself; they get it with the first.
They can feel it before you even say anything. So yeah. It's part of it.
Absolutely. Well, we're just about out of time. And Kim, you want to do the thank yous?
No, I don't. Maureen and Patty need to tell people where people can find them. Maureen?
Oh. Well, I have a website. I better take that. I'll get disconnected. TarotVisions.us, and also you can find me on Thursday nights at psychicaccess.radio.com and Saturdays at TarotVisions.us morning live show. Well, Mary's going to be coming to do a show this Saturday.
Ooh.
Oh, this Saturday? Okay.
Well, you go. Okay, never mind.
Wait a minute, I got to check my calendar.
I'm crazy making
my business manager, would you please check my calendar? Am I available Saturday night?
I think you are available this Saturday evening.
My business manager says I'm available Saturday.
For a nominal fee.
Phenomenal. And and thank you so much. It was lovely, girls. I wish I could have been on video, but I saw you girls. And then the nose of something else.
But what you do and knows, okay.
And Miss Patty.
Other people can't see that, but you kind of were laughing. So.
Miss Patty, how do they find you?
Well, they can find me on Mystic Metaphysics on Facebook, and most of the time on Psychic Access. So, psychicaccess.com.
And Mary, how can they find you?
Oh, at psychicvampiresbiteme.com. You can reach me. No, you just find me here. I'm hanging around always, or Facebook, and you know how it rolls.
And my new website is suckitupbuttercup.org.
Yeah, I bet you we get a bunch of hits on that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Exactly. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And the next time we have another one of those moments, we will contact you and bring you back on.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. It was fun.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, we certainly got some information there, Kim, on how to handle the psychic vampires and the negative people that pop in.
Not like some of us haven't told you this before, but just saying.
All right. Well, next week's show, who do we have on?
Cheryl.
I know.
Let me see. Cheryl Knobloch.
Knobloch. She's the author of The Returning Ones. She recently just got back from Ireland with Debbie from Arizona.
Jealous.
So we're going to talk a little bit about her new book. So make sure you come back and join us next Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And Arwen will be here in approximately 1 hour, so come back and watch Arwen's show.
Go watch Pen 2 until she comes on.
Pen 2, yes, absolutely. You can find a little button up at the top. All right, well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. And Kim?
Suck it up, Buttercup.
You
We're
got
out of
it.
here.
I'm using. This is the first time using my new computer with this webcam and everything. You
Wow.
guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look at it.
I got like 100-foot screen staring at me with your face. That's the biggest screen I've ever had, though. It's huge.
Well, before we get into our serious topic, I must mention that Robin is commenting on the fake cooking kitchen backdrop that Patty usually.
Yeah, it looks
Has
beautiful,
a-
Patty. It does look like the most, what's it called? Home and Gardens? House and Gardens.
No, hers is a large poster, Maureen. We've decided she really doesn't cook.
It's
Yeah, we don't
nice.
think she cooks. We think that's just a backdrop. And you know, Kim, looking at the kitchen from behind, when the last time we looked at it was blue, and now today it's green?
All I know is I still don't see any pierogies cooking, and we were promised these like 10 months ago.
It does look beautiful.
This has nothing to do with the fact that my office is in my kitchen, by the way. Nothing.
You know,
Backdrop.
if you were over at my house and I was as sick as you were for like 3 months or 2 months or whatever it was, you wouldn't be able to see my countertops because things would be piled up. So I think Robin's onto something. The
Robin?
color changes.
Robin or Patty?
Noted.
Anyway, ladies,
Jeez.
we actually have a serious side of tonight's show.
We do.
The topic tonight started a month ago. Kim and I were just
Oh,
kind
you
of.
gotta be kidding.
You're back on, Mo. You're back on, Mo. Just restart your camera.
You're still here, Maureen, so don't talk bad about Patty.
No, that's what I said about that. You know what? This is my brand new computer on my end happening again. This is what I was having problems with my other one. That's what. Oh, heck. But I'm not going to say any more about
It's
it.
okay. We'll help you fix it after show. We're going right along. Truck right along.
Yeah, you look great. You look great in that picture. Anyway, Kim and I, a few months ago, we usually meet every morning for breakfast. We'll have coffee, where now it's just basically typing to one another. And it was something that we had noticed, you know, you get up every morning, and unless you got bad knees, bad back, shoulders, and everything else like I do, you know, you kind of make the most of it, and you go down and you can't wait to talk.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Just Saying. It is March 10th, 2014, and I am joined here, as I am every week, by my soon-to-be Grandma Nana, Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Kim. You know, I like the term. I like hearing that. Grandma.
I know you do.
I waited long enough. I better like being a grandma. That would be kind of weird if I don't. But no, I'm excited. And yesterday was the shower, and we had a great time.
I know. I saw lovely pictures.
Well, I made sure you got the brunch picture, the food.
Of course you did, because it was Banana Foster, you evil thing.
Well, I was minding my own business, going down the line. Well, I have to start off with this. Now, I don't usually fight over food, but I love cheese danishes. And of course, being co-hostess of this event yesterday, I was one of the last to go because I let the other guests go up. But when they were putting out all this food, they put out these trays of these mean-looking Danish, and there were cheese Danish there. So I'm being patient, and there's one lady ahead of me, and I eye this one cheese Danish. It was like the heavens opened up and the light came down on this Danish. I go to grab it, and she snags it.
No.
If I had a fork in my hand, I would have stabbed her to get that cheese Danish. So the whole time I'm sitting there, and I've got this delicious food in front of me, and I'm thinking cheese Danish. Well, one of the girls at the table grabbed the waitress and said, "For God's sakes, do you have another cheese Danish in the back?" And here comes a special plate with a cheese Danish and puts it right in front of me.
Robin said that you picked up a fork and pinned her hand down with it.
Yeah, well, Robin was when you went down the line. There was like two, one on one side, one on the other, and the lady on the other side was just like 2 inches ahead of us. And man, that she went in and grabbed for that cheese Danish. Oh, that's okay. I got my cheese Danish, so I'm happy. And then to make matters worse, when they had the French toast and they had the syrup, and I said, "What's that stuff?" And the lady says, "Oh, it's banana Foster's top." That's it. So as soon as I got back, I'm snapping pictures, and I had to send it to you.
Yep.
Anyway, how are you?
I'm lovely.
As always. What's special at Metaluna this week?
Oh, let's see right now. Me.
Well, of course, but I mean, any new products?
Winter clothes are 25% off right now.
There you go.
All the sweaters.
Your winter clothing needs, shop at Metaluna, where you get 25% off. See?
And my fuzzy socks, and yeah.
Yeah? All right. Sounds good. Oh, I like fuzzy socks. I might have to get some.
I love the fuzzy socks.
Anyway, we have a jam-packed show tonight, and the reason why I brought up that cheese Danish is I don't usually talk too much food, is notice I got really upset about that cheese Danish.
You did.
To the point where 2 people over sitting for me had to ask for one. I was shooting out some negative vibes there because I didn't get my cheese Danish. How's that for a segue into a show?
That's a temper tantrum.
Well, regardless, people around me felt it. So I'm going to let you do the intros of our guests tonight so we can get started on our show.
Our guests this evening are 2 of our fun people, and we love these 2.
We do?
Let's start with Beauty and Beauty, because I'm not even going with the age thing because I will get in trouble. The first one is a Claire Everything, and one of the co-hosts on The Psychic View, Maureen Holleran. And the other one is our buddy in the box, who comes out to play randomly and always looks so lovely, even though we're picking on her shirt, Patty Zakis.
Welcome, ladies. And we do love you. I was just funning.
We do.
You think I was going to come in here and be real? Nope. So how are you tonight? Well, I'll ask Patty first, because...
Ask Patty.
Patty, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great, Mary. Thank you. Feeling much better than I have been for the last 2 months, so everything is a massive improvement. And so glad you didn't end up with a prison sentence over an assault over cheese Danish, just like...
They came close.
What? And I forgot to mention, Patty is pretty much a Claire Everything too. Don't take her into a haunted place without being able to grab her suitcase really quick. There.
Yeah. But I like the intro of Maureen. She almost sounded like a salad bar, with all those toppings.
Well, they both are. One's a baked potato bar and the other one's a salad bar, and you just go through and add what you want.
Can I be the chocolate fountain?
No.
Thumbs up, okay?
So, last but not the least, Maureen, how are you?
I'm okay after I got a whooping off me before the show. I'm doing fantastic.